Hi, welcome to the Harvard Risk Management and Identity Theft Workshop. Here we're going to go ahead and get you more in terms in understanding identity theft and how it can impact your business as well as you personally as an individual. Thank you for taking the time to learn about this identity theft workshop. I am Sarah Revelis from the Harvard Risk Management Corporation, a regional manager of California. And we're going to go ahead and learn the depths of identity theft. Alright, identity theft is facts. Identity theft 1. The Federal Trade Commission reports that the identity theft has been a #1 consumer complaint for 11 consecutive years. 11 consecutive years. Over 512 million Americans' identities have been reported lost or stolen since January 2005, says the www.privacyrights.org. Over 400,000 dead people have been opening bank accounts for the last year, says AARP. The revenue from the trafficking finance data has surpassed that of drug trafficking, says the U.S. Secret Service. And 3.5 million children have already fallen a victim of identity theft in the U.S. Identity theft poses to increase by the factor of 20 over the next 2 years. The criminals are still trying to figure out what to do with all the data, says U.S. Today. There are currently over 27,000 new identity theft victims every day. You are 3 times more likely to have your identity stolen than you are to have your house or your car broken into. Proving that identity theft is becoming a severe issue. The average dollar amount charges in identity theft is $92,803. The average time taken by a victim to restore their identity is 607 hours on their own with no legal help whatsoever. Most identity theft issues are non-credit related. Think of this as a fact. It takes about 60 seconds to find out if you are a victim of identity theft, but an average of 600 hours to restore your identity, going back and forth, going calls and phone, trying to make your put awareness on your calls. It's just a hectic paperwork mess. How does identity theft impact an employee's production and your role in human resources? Well, in a business point of view, 1. Absenteeism, 2. Presenteeism, and 3. Data breaches. According to absenteeism is a new survey by Mercer, the total and financial impact of employees' absence. The total cost of an absence can equal as much as 30%, 6% of the payroll, compared to the 5.4% for health care coverage. Of the figure of 9% accounts for the unplanned abstinence. Planned abstinence, like vacations and holidays, average about 26.6%. For a mid-sized business, this unplanned absence can count for as much as $4.5 million per year. Wouldn't you like to cut that cost in half? Now, presenteeism is defined as an employee being present but not being fully focused and productive because of personal health or life problems, distractions. It's as the old saying of someone being there in body only sums up the concept of presenteeism. Presenteeism manifests itself in many ways, such as lack of focus, accidents, and mistakes, interpersonal difficulties, poor work skills, and production problems. Presenteeism accounts for 61% of employees' total loss of productivity and medical costs. Some studies suggest that presenteeism is more than 7 times as costly as employers as absenteeism, says the Cornell University study of journal applications of environmental medicine. Presence team costs employers have been estimated about $2,000 a year per employee since the Center for Behavioral Health. 45% of employees lost productivity at the rate of 1 hour more day due to stress, says the Business Legal Resources. 30% of employees with current elder care issues have lost time for work. A total of 11 hours a week spent, says Risk and Insurance. Now, data breaches. If we go ahead and look at the chart, we can already see that computer viruses at 70%. Software corruption is at 14%. Natural disasters at 3%. Human errors at 32%. And harmful malfunctions at 44%. If 3 of your employees told you that they were recently been a victim of identity theft, what does that mean for you? Well, 2% of data breaches are a result of human error. So when it comes to data breaches, for the 5th year in a row, data breaches costs have continually to the rise according to the study and documentations of business and impact by data breaches. The average of organization costs of a data breach this year is $7.2 million, up to 7% from the last year. The total breaches cost and the growth of every year since 2006 reported and noted the data breaches in 2010 cost the companies the average of $214 per compromised record. What can you do to assist your employees and protect your company? Well, 1. Educate them on various forms of identity theft. Most of your employees are thinking that identity theft has to deal with credit. In reality, that only accounts for 6.5% of all identity theft in last year. Let them know how they can help them prevent identity theft on a personal level as well as protect them from company's information. Consider the offering an employee a benefit that deals with identity theft protection. The common types of identity theft are character and criminal, employment, SSA and IRS, medical, financial, driver's license, and minor children. We're going to go ahead and show you a few examples of each of these different type of things so you can get a variation and idea of the different types of identity theft that could possibly taking place. Not everything just being, your credit cards. First one we're going to look is at criminal.
Every time Stancy Nesby looks in the rearview mirror, she can't help but wonder if she's about to be pulled over.
Everybody needs to put themselves in my shoes and know that this could happen to them.
A 30-year-old single mom with 4 kids who holds 2 jobs working as a nurse's assistant, life was hard enough before her problems with police.
It's made it really hard for me to smile and be the normal person that I felt like I was at first.
It started 4 years ago when Stancy was pulled over for speeding in the Bay Area. She admitted going too fast, but couldn't understand why she was being arrested.
I ended up going to jail that day. They didn't believe anything I was saying.
It turned out Stancy had a warrant for her arrest. The police databases showed she'd been busted for cocaine possession here in San Francisco's seedy Tenderloin district back in 1999, but that she never showed up for court appearances. Stancy had to spend 3 days in jail. The problem, she was innocent. Police later confirmed it when her fingerprints didn't match the real suspect who had used Stancy's name.
I've had nightmares about this.
She says police told her they'd fix the problem, but 2 months later, Stancy was arrested again, this time at her home in Berkeley. Once again, she says when the officers discovered the error, they told her they'd help her clear her name. But 3 months later, Stancy was arrested again in yet another jurisdiction. And it didn't end there. From 2002 to 2004, Stancy was arrested or detained 7 times by 5 police departments. In one instance, hauled off right in front of her children.
The kids were crying, and basically they ended up, throwing me on the ground and sticking their knees in my back.
So you can see what kind of things with identity theft, me as the criminal is in such a way. Someone's actually using your name in a sense of, instead of using their own name, they're using your name as to press charges. That can be very, very cost effective and really hard to clear. All right, the other type of identity that we're going to look into now is employment and SSA and IRS.
Audra Schmierer has been a stay-at-home mom for 6 years. Now that her son's in school, she wants to return to work, so she applied to a temp agency.
They called me 3 or 4 hours later and said, Mrs. Schmierer, I don't understand why you're applying. You already work here.
At a big tech company, a similar experience.
Here's my driver's license, my passport, my social security card. I gave him everything. And she said, well, really, how can you actually prove you're you? What if those people have the same documentation you did?
Schmierer has discovered more than 200 illegal aliens throughout the United States are doing jobs Americans supposedly won't do by using her social security number. They work in fast food chains, cosmetic companies, even receive dividends from Microsoft.
I started to gather all this information and really found out how extreme the situation was. Scary.
Her ordeal began last year with a bill from the IRS for nearly $16,000 in back taxes for a job in Texas. She lives in Dublin, California.
My husband was actually quite upset. He asked me when I had ever been to Texas.
She tracked down the illegal alien whose phony tax return triggered the IRS bill. He told her he bought her social security number and a fake green card at this Texas flea market.
I don't understand how illegal aliens can come across here and commit a felony. Identity theft is a felony. And be excused from that felony to continue living your life when I cannot live my life.
By January, Schmierer faced a $1 million IRS bill. She was temporarily detained by customs, returning from a foreign business trip with her husband. And her Social Security account now shows a zero balance, erasing 14 years of work before her marriage.
Social Security right now sends me to IRS. IRS sends me to Social Security. Every now and then they'll send me to the FTC, whom I have a case with. No one wants to do anything about it. Right now, I have nowhere to go.
Schmierer spends several hours a day trying to clear her name. The IRS has canceled her bill, but Social Security won't give her a new number. She says all 35 employers she's contacted have refused to take action against the workers using her number.
It's cheap labor, and they don't care.
Neither do most senators. John Ensign brought Schmierer's case to their attention, and they still approved Social Security benefits for illegal aliens using stolen identities.
The crime of identity theft and Social Security fraud are not victimless crimes. The victims of these crimes are American citizens and legal immigrants.
Casey Ryan, CNN, Dublin, California.
So there we can go ahead and see how that has an impact to just people using it to work under you and how frustrating that can be in an employment sense. Now, next thing we're going to go ahead and look in medical identity theft and how that has an impact.
I was absolutely floored. You just would never imagine in a million years that something could happen like this.
Several months ago, Andrea Sachs got an alarming phone call. Her newborn baby had just tested positive for illegal drugs. Problem is, Andrea hasn't given birth in years.
As much as I denied it, they just kept insisting that yes, I was the mother of this child. There was nothing that I could say to get out of it.
To make matters worse, authorities showed up at her door the next day, calling her an unfit mother and threatening to take away all 4 of her kids.
When you know you're innocent and you didn't do anything wrong, it just absolutely, I was in tears. I was a wreck.
Turns out, Andrea was the victim of medical ID theft. Someone had stolen her driver's license, walked into a hospital, and had a baby, leaving Andrew with a $10,000 bill and a fight to clear her name.
Do you think it's a big problem?
It's a huge problem.
Chris Dorn is a fraud expert with Ingenix, a company that tracks medical ID theft cases. He says victims have more worries than just fraudulent doctor bills. Your medical records can also be altered, with the crook's information substituted for your own.
Inadvertently, your blood type can be changed, your medications that you're on that can be changed, your underlying medical conditions can be changed.
Which can be life-threatening.
Certainly,
That's a scary thought.
it is.
To crack down on the problem, some hospitals like this one outside Hartford, Connecticut, are now asking patients for proof of identification.
Could I give driver's license or a photo ID and your insurance card?
Administrators say the policy went into effect after a rash of medical ID thefts, and it's working.
About 2 to 3 times a week we have patients that come in. When we ask them for the ID, they'll say it's in the car, go out to their car and don't return.
Come here.
Andrew Sack says her fraud case wreaked havoc on her life. She had to take a DNA test to prove she wasn't the mother of the drug-addicted baby, and she fears the long-term damage that may have been done to her medical records.
Am I going to have some emergency someday in my life and I'm going to show up at the hospital and they're going to give me the wrong blood type because they still have her blood type in my files? I just don't feel safe anymore.
So you can see how medical and identity theft can really impact you very severely, not just affect your life or your information that's on there, but as well can detriment your whole entire livelihood with your family and kids. These are serious issues. Okay, now you're gonna look over a sense of a financial, and we already know the driver's license already. When people go ahead and steal out your driver's license, and even in minor children. I mean, look at that as well. Alright. Credit card fraud accounts for at least 70% of identity theft. A theft that can destroy your goods, credit in a matter of hours. Banks have the greatest job of telling people that identity theft is mostly credit monitored.
That's her in my dress.
For Terry and Stephanie McClung, it was an epilogue to their worst nightmare.
That was awful.
Still mourning the death of their 5-month-old daughter, Caitlin, they filed their tax return, but the IRS rejected it. Someone else had already claimed Caitlin as a dependent.
Felt violated.
And it was the very last time we had to claim her, as our own.
Tax identity theft, virtually unheard of just a few years ago, is exploding. Total cost, more than $5 billion. At the Justice Department's tax division, where they normally focus on things like offshore tax evasion, identity theft has become a top priority. You've described this as low-risk, high-reward crime.
Our absolute goal is to alter that equation.
Through tougher prosecutions and more sophisticated investigations. But for victims of tax identity theft, that's too late to save them from a bureaucratic nightmare.
I called the IRS, and they said I needed to contact the Social Security office. I called the Social Security Department. They wanted me to call the IRS.
In 2 scathing reports last year, Treasury's internal watchdog blasted the IRS for the long delays. Michelle Eldridge is an IRS spokeswoman. It kind of feels like the IRS got caught flat-footed with all of this. Is that fair?
IRS takes refund fraud and identity theft very seriously.
But as Terry and Stephanie McClung found out the hard way, the best defense for now is to file early and beat the identity thieves to the punch. Scott Cohn, NBC News, Finksburg, Maryland.
So you can see how financially and even the IRS can be very interventive with your identity theft. As well, when people just taking your driver's license or using them as your birth, it's hard to claim who you are as who you are. Now we're gonna check this one right here. This is child identity theft. It's ridiculous, but it's happening. I owe $16,000 on my credit cards, on my condo in foreclosure, and I have only turned 7 on Friday. Over 3.5 million children have already been victims of identity theft. Of course, this is number of discoveries of cases are actually numbered may be as much as higher. Unfortunately, many cases of child identity theft are not linked to credit. Criminals are using children's identity to commit crimes, apply for Social Security benefits, obtain driver's license, and even get medical treatment.
This morning on Today Investigates, the new twist on an old crime, identity thieves now targeting babies. NBC's Jeff Rossen is here with information that parents really need to know. Jeff, good morning.
Yeah, this is an important one, and good morning to you. I know your kids are in high school now, so they're a little older for this, but for a lot of us younger parents, the question you have to ask yourself, when was the last time you checked your child's credit report? I know I haven't. I have 2 little girls. And the crooks know it. Now they're so advanced, they can actually steal your baby's social security number before they're even born, racking up millions in debt. This morning, we tracked down the alleged thieves and show you exactly how they do it. Egan is only 2 years old, but already owes thousands in credit card debt and has declared bankruptcy.
You think this must be a joke, and then you realize, no, this is actually incredibly serious.
9-year-old Riley is in default on utility bills. Her social was stolen 11 years before she was even born.
As a mother, I was shocked and angry and violated.
Katie was only 3 years old when crooks stole her identity. Now, as a teenager, her credit report shows over $750,000 in debt, all at the hands of ID thieves. A scary thought for a young girl.
I think that because it is illegal, like, they should be in jail.
But they're not. In fact, we found 2 men using her identity, living free.
Never in my wildest dreams had I thought to run a credit check on my son, and what parent would run a credit check on their child who's in diapers, who's crawling?
Stealing their socials is easier than you think. That number is actually a code. The first 3 digits stand for the state it was issued in. The last 6 digits stand for the approximate date it was issued. A clue to the person's birthday. Now, using simple software, crooks can actually predict kids' numbers, meaning when your newborn gets their number at the hospital, it may already be stolen, which is exactly what happened to Riley. Her mom discovered it years later by chance on a family credit check.
The government gave me a bum number that obviously they hadn't cleared. It's a financial birth defect, and the parents aren't warned.
And in many cases, police don't have the time or resources to catch these crooks.
What can parents do if they suspect their children's identities have been stolen?
Right, so if you do that credit check and it comes back that the identity is stolen, really only one thing you can do is immediately put a freeze on your child's credit, so that way it'll prevent any future theft. But it will take years for you to call the credit card companies and the credit bureaus. The burden is on you to prove that your identity has been stolen, and it is a major pain.
It is infuriating. Jeff Rossen, thank you so much this morning.
So as you can see, it would normally take a long time, a long effort, and even constantly a lot of time and effort to just even protect your identity of yourself and your loved ones. And it would just seem like a royal pain in the butt. But no fear. Here at Harvard Risk Management Corporation, not only do we offer 12 tips to help you to identity prevention, as well we offer something a little bit more. What? Identity theft prevention tips. Identity theft has 12 tips to help you protect yourself from devastating effects of identity theft from Harbor Risk Management Corporation. 1. Review your current copy of your credit report. Make sure you shred junk mail and unwanted credit card offers. 3. Opt out when you receive privacy statements. You must write them to stop companies from sharing your information. 4. Do not carry your Social Security card and keep it at home and safe. 5. Do not carry extra credit cards. 6. Copy the contents of your wallet and store it in a secure place. 7. Do not mail bill payments in checks from the home. Use locked mailboxes. 8. Do not print your Social Security number or driver license number on your checks. 9. Order your Social Security earning benefit statements and check it for accuracy. You can check that on www.ssi.gov. 10. Examine charges on your credit card statements each month. 11. Give your credit card number or personal information over the phone unless initiated the call. So, when someone asks you to give them credit card or personal information, unless you initiate it, means you were the one who called it, place like Domino's or anything, don't ever give them your credit card information. 12. Invest in identity theft protection plans that provide restoration services. There are a lot of fraudulent kind of identity theft protection plans that don't provide the key thing of restoration services. Restoration services allows you, who doesn't know anything about the system, how to file the paperwork and everything, to be able to have someone certified and help you hand by hand, making an easy transition and restoring your credit back to normal and taking off any of the fraudulent charges that the identity thief done to your good name. Here at Harbor Risk, we offer such services. Now, from a business point of view or for someone of yourself, employee benefit plans. Here at Harbor Risk Corporation, we offer employee benefit plans for corporations and businesses to offer these protections so they can save time, reduce cost, and have a beneficial work atmosphere. Having more productive people, not worrying about so much how their livelihood is messed up with credit and anything that's protecting their businesses, but also providing a plan that is efficiently and can help it easy transition. Top reason why employers offer identity theft plans as an employee benefit. The average identity theft victim can spend hundreds of hours in processing and restoring their identity. Many employees use this time at work trying to restore their identity and repair their credit. By offering an identity theft plan that includes credit monitoring as an employee benefit, businesses have created an automatic early warning system for the potential data breaches that will occur within the company. Plans that offer restoration services may also help to migrate damages caused from data breaches. Many plans can offer at absolutely no cost to the employer. Your business can save money without spending money. So let's go ahead and capture everything, the main idea when it comes to identity protection. 1. Monitoring plans. 2. Reimbursement plans. 3. Fraud alert services. And 4. Make sure it has restoration plans. Now, thank you for taking the time with Harvard Risk Management Corporation and the Identity Workshop. I hope this brought ideal aspects of what identity theft, the different types of identity theft, and looking for the future. If you and your business are looking for plans that offer these type of services, working to allow your company to be able to be protection of identity theft, please feel free to visit the website at www.revelesshamc and be happy to advance. Or you can go ahead and reach me at REVELES Risk Management @gmail.com, and you can have any more questions or they. Thank you for taking your support, and I look forward to seeing you later. Bye.